a compact okra variety that's super easy to grow in containers and produces an abundant harvest. Let's look at 5 tips for growing great quality okra in containers or pots. So the variety we will be using to grow okra in containers is the Baby Baba okra. You can start sowing seeds for okra sometime in May or June. Here we are sowing them in June. And we are just using a whiskey barrel container. Now tip number 1. For growing okra, only sow your seeds when the temperatures are warm, which means when the daytime temperatures are about 70 degrees or higher and the nighttime temperatures are 60 degrees or higher. That's the time you can start sowing okra seeds, or start them indoors 4 to 6 weeks earlier. Tip number 2. Soil. We are using a mix of peat moss, compost and perlite with 10% of worm castings added. This makes a great container mix and is amazing for growing okras. At 33 days since sowing, you can see that the okra plants have grown quite well and are well established. This is the time to add a cup of organic fertilizer like Garden Tone or Plant Tone, and I'll provide links to these products in the comments and video description below. Now at 55 days since planting, the plants have grown even bigger and you can see how nicely the plants have grown. At this time you may start seeing pests around your okra plant, especially pests like aphids and whiteflies, and to counter these pests you can use neem oil or spinosad. These are 2 organic methods that you can use to kill the pests on your okra plant, and I will provide some links to these products in the video description and comments as well. And at around this stage you can start harvesting your okras, and you can see here the okras look quite beautiful. These are excellent quality okras which grow in a very compact and bushy plant. And the okras will be produced almost every day. In the summer season or when there's a lot of heat, you can see this kind of okra being produced almost every day. So make sure that you harvest your okras in time. And if you forget to harvest your okras, you may get okras that are very stringy and not so good to eat. So make sure that you keep harvesting your okra at regular intervals and check for your okra every day. And now we come to tip number 4, watering. Okra grows well in the summer season, so make sure that you're watering at least every day in the heat of the summer season, and at least once every 2 days if it's cloudy or not so hot in your area. But okra thrives in hot weather, so make sure you give it enough water so that it's hydrated and produces good quality okras. And the okra variety that you choose to grow is also very important. The Baby Baba okra, as you can see, is a very compact plant. You can grow it very easily in a whiskey barrel container like this and get an abundant harvest. At about 72 days since planting, the okra plant will continue to grow even bigger, and now you can see almost all the okra plants are producing very good quality okras. And this okra variety will not disappoint. It will keep giving you okras right throughout the growing season all the way into the winter season. And you can see here the okras, they look quite good, very tender, very fresh okras. And at 80 days the plant has almost fully grown, and at this stage the okra production will be at its highest. And since we are growing a lot of plants together, this okra variety is amazing when you want to grow many plants close to each other. They will not only grow well but also give you a lot of okras. The Nombo Giant is another variety that you can grow in containers, but you can grow a lot more of the Baby Baba okras in containers compared to other okra varieties. And you'll notice that as you enter into the harvest season, the number of okras that the plant produces is higher and higher. And it will peak at somewhere around 90 days of sowing your seeds. And you can see the okras, they look absolutely amazing, very fresh, tender, crunchy and delicious. And also at around 80 to 90 days since sowing, the plant will begin to mature. You will start seeing some yellowing of leaves. And that brings us to tip number 5, which is nutrients. Make sure you use a good quality vegetable fertilizer or an all-purpose fertilizer to grow okras, and feed it worm tea every 15 days. Just by doing these 2 things, you will make sure that you're getting great quality okras right throughout the growing season. And if you've added fertilizer during planting, Make sure you add it at every 30 to 40 days. And the okra harvest will continue right through the fall season or even into the winter season, depending on the temperatures in your area. So compared to all the other okra varieties, the Baby Baba okra is designed to be a very compact plant and produces great quality okra, as you can see here. And at 100 days since sowing, you can see that the plant has reached the limit of its growth, the height, and it stands at about 3 feet or so, which means that this is a very compact okra plant. And here you can see the plant, it's still growing right into the months of September and October, and still producing a lot of okras. And it has started getting cooler these days, which means the plant will now start slowing down and start yellowing up. And you can see at 113 days, a lot of the foliage has turned yellow and brown. And after removing the foliage that's dead, there are very few leaves remaining on the plant. But the plant is still producing okras. This plant will keep producing okras till the end of its life, which is the beginning of the winter season. And till then, it will keep producing a lot of okras that you can harvest every day in your home garden. And finally, at 126 days since sowing, the plant has become dormant enough for us to remove it. Now, you can overwinter okra plants if you have milder winters, but in our case, we are going to be removing these plants and then planting a new batch of okra next season. But you can see how shallow rooted these plants are, and that's why they make great plants for growing in containers. So the Baby Baba okra is one of the most compact and bushy plants that easily grows in containers and gives you an abundant harvest. So there we have it, folks. That was our episode on the 5 tips for growing great okras in your garden. And you can grow a lot of okras by following these simple tips. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button to get all future notifications. We'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.